From the National Newsroom at the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate. Tensions in the Middle East are sky high this morning. The U.S. says it has rescued a service member who was missing behind enemy lines after a fighter jet was downed over Iranian territory. That update from U.S. President Donald Trump comes alongside his renewed threats for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. In Kuwait, an Iranian drone attack caused significant damage to 2 power plants and put a water desalination station out of service. No injuries were reported in the attack. Now, looking way up, Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen, along with his American counterparts Christina Cook and Reed Wiseman, took part in a Space-to-Earth chat with Canadian kids this morning. The crew of the Artemis 2 mission were peppered with questions, including one about health and safety. When asked about CPR in space, Hansen said it was part of their training.
Yeah, it's a great question because we're all alone up here, just the 4 of us, and if we ever had to do it, we definitely want to plan. And so we talked about it on Earth, and one of our tests this week was actually to try those techniques out.
Other questions included what space food was like and whether the crew could see stars. The Orion spacecraft is expected to reach the moon on Monday, conduct a flyby, and then begin the long trek home. A new study from Simon Fraser University found little improvement in the status of at-risk species in British Columbia. Researchers examined a database listing of threatened, special concern, and secure species from 2008 to 2025. The study's co-author, Peter Thompson, said they found that only 14 species saw genuine improvements in their status, while most species didn't change categories at all.
So if a species was put on the red list in 2008, which is the highest category of endangerment, the most likely thing is it's still on the red list as we speak today.
The study recommends dedicated provincial legislation to protect at-risk species and their habitats. Franchising is a large industry in Canada, and it can be profitable for many, but it also offers less flexibility and creative control than other types of small business. Daryl Ching is the owner of Vistance Accounting, and he works with franchise clients. He says owning a franchise is a lot like buying a business structure.
If you are very strong in operational efficiencies, if you're good at managing staff and getting more productivity out of employees, this is an ideal situation because you can take what is a somewhat profitable franchise and turn it into a very profitable franchise.
Ching says in running a franchise, there isn't a lot of room for changes when it comes to the menu, prices, or suppliers. And finally, Pope Leo has celebrated his first Easter Mass as pontiff with a call this morning to exercise hope against the violence of war that kills and destroys. He says, "We need the song of hope today as conflict is spreading around the world." This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the Vegas Golden Knights scored the game's first 3 goals and then coasted to a 5-1 victory over the Edmonton Oilers. Evan Bouchard scored the lone goal for the Oilers, whose lead over Vegas in the Pacific Division has now been reduced to 1 point. Elsewhere, Morgan Frost had 2 goals as the Calgary Flames upset the Anaheim Ducks 5-3. The Flames snapping a 2-game losing skid, while the Ducks have now lost 5 in a row. Montreal edged New Jersey in a shootout 4-3. The Wild thumped the Sens 4-1. Winnipeg topped Columbus 2-1. The Kings outlasted the Leafs 7-6 in OT. And Vancouver was on the wrong side of a 7-4 final against Utah. Now, out on the diamond, it was another loss for the Toronto Blue Jays, who fell 6-3 to the Chicago White Sox. And finally, in Major League Soccer, the Vancouver Whitecaps got by the Portland Timbers 3-2. Toronto FC posted the same result, a 3-2 win over Colorado. And New England got a clean sheet, 3-0 over Montreal. From the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.